These two fake HOA cops were crawling at my feet, broken bones, whimpering, begging me not to hit them again. One clutching his ribs like they were falling apart, the other dragging a twisted arm that bent sideways like a snapped branch. They didn't look so tough now. Yeah, that was the end of the story. But to understand how we got there, let's back up. Before we dive in, comment which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story travels. It started 2 weeks earlier, when the HOA down the ridge decided my ranch was suddenly within their community influence zone, which is HOA language for we want control over land we don't own. My ranch sits on 50 acres of Tennessee hillside, and the only things that touch my property without permission are deer, wind, and sometimes my neighbor's dumb goat when he breaks the fence again. But the new HOA president, Victoria Crane, a woman who thought leadership meant terror, decided I was the neighborhood safety risk. Why? Because I refused to cut down a 40-year-old oak tree she claimed was interrupting the community view. I told her politely to go find a new hobby. She didn't like that. From that day, the letters started, then the threats, then the compliance notices taped to my mailbox, even though my ranch isn't and never has been under their authority. I ignored them. I've lived out here my whole life. My dad lived here, my granddad lived here, and we don't take orders from anyone who wears a name tag they printed at home. But Victoria wasn't just petty. She was vindictive, and when people like her get mad, they don't fight their own battles. They send someone else. 2 mornings before the fight, I spotted 2 men snooping near my property line. Fake tactical vests, cheap badges, clipboards. They called themselves HOA cop. I called them trespassers. I warned them once, step foot on my land again, we're gonna have problems. They laughed and walked away like I was a joke. That's when I knew it was only a matter of time before things escalated. I didn't expect it to happen so soon. Sunrise, the day of the fight, I stepped out with my first cup of black coffee and froze. Those same 2 fake cops were standing on my porch, ripping down the no trespassing sign I'd bolted to the railing. Big one, barrel chest, held a crowbar. Skinny one clutched a clipboard like it was a holy scripture. What the hell do you think you're doing? I asked. Big one smirked. Enforcing compliance. You're violating HOA. I cut him off. You don't have jurisdiction here. This is private ranch land. He stepped closer, chest puffed like a rooster. Sir, if you interfere again, we will detain you. Detain me on my own land. That was when something warm in my chest snapped cold. I warned you, boys, I said, setting the coffee down on the porch rail. You're about to learn why you don't pick fights with a man who's been breaking horses since he was 12. The big one reached for me, and that was the last decision he made without pain. The big guy grabbed my arm first, thick fingers clamping down like he thought he had me. He didn't. I twisted out of his grip and stepped back just long enough to reach behind the rocking chair on my porch, my hand wrapped around the smooth, familiar handle of my hickory bat. Old, worn, heavy. The same kind I'd used to knock fence posts into the ground for 20 years. I lifted it slowly, deliberately. Both men froze. You're threatening an officer, the skinny one sputtered. You're not officers, I said. You're idiots trespassing on a ranch. Big guy swung his crowbar first, a wide, sloppy arc meant to scare me. I stepped in, not back. The bat connected across his ribs with a deep, wooden thump, the kind you feel in your teeth. His breath exploded out of him as he stumbled sideways, eyes wide, crowbar falling from his hand. He tried to inhale, but his ribs weren't working right anymore. Break 1 or break 3, I muttered. You choose. He collapsed onto the porch step, gasping like a landed fish. Skinny guy panicked. He tried to run, but he forgot. This ranch was built by men who knew how to stop cattle at full sprint. I lunged off the porch, caught him by the collar, and yanked him backward so hard his feet left the ground. He hit the dirt on his back, wheezing, dust exploding around him. He scrambled up, swinging wildly. I sidestepped the punch, then planted the bat across his forearm with a crack that sounded like dry wood snapping. He screamed. His arm bent the wrong way, elbow twisted, wrist limp. He fell to his knees, clutching it, whimpering like a dog hit by a truck. You assaulted HOA personnel, he cried. You're going to. I stepped in front of him, voice calm. You're trespassers. You threatened me. And now you're leaving here broken, but alive. That's me being generous. Behind me, the big one tried crawling away, ribs shattered, breath wet, movements jerky. You're insane, he coughed. We were just doing our job. Your job? I echoed. Your job is 6 miles down the ridge in a neighborhood I don't live in. I nudged the crowbar across the dirt with my boot. You bring weapons onto my porch, you get treated like men who brought weapons onto my porch. Skinny one spit dirt. Victoria told us you'd resist. I stopped. Victoria Crane, HOA president. The same woman who decided my oak tree was her business. The same woman who'd been trying to make an example out of me. So she escalated, hired these two clowns to intimidate me. Yeah, skinny one whispered. She said you were a problem. A problem, I repeated quietly. I leaned down, grabbed his fake badge, and ripped it off his vest. Here's the truth, I said. I don't start fights, but I finish them. They both lay there, one groaning, one crying quietly into the dirt. Two broken men on my land. And the bat wasn't even warm yet. If you're enjoying this HOA story so far, like and subscribe because the story is only going to get better. I stayed exactly where I was after the fight, bat lowered, boots planted, watching the two fake HOA cops drag themselves across my gravel like wounded dogs. One clutched his ribs, whimpering. The other tried to hold his forearm together like he feared it might fall off. I dialed the sheriff's office, calm as a man ordering groceries. This is Luke Carter. Two trespassers pretending to be HOA officers attacked me on my porch. They're still here, both injured. Send deputies and medics. 10 minutes later, the gravel lit up red and blue. Deputies Hale and Morales stepped out, hands near their holsters, but the scene explained itself. Hale pointed to the crowbars on the porch. They come at you with those? They did, I said. I defended myself. Morales crouched by the man with the crooked arm. Looks like you did more than defend. He grabbed me first, I reminded him. Then Morales found the clipboard. He skimmed 2 lines and froze. Luke, you're going to want to see this. He handed it to me. Priority enforcement targets. Top name, Luke Carter. Under it, apply force if necessary. Signed, VC. My jaw tightened. Victoria Crane? Hale exhaled. The HOA president sent them? She's been trying to control my ranch for months, I said. Guess she finally snapped. Paramedics arrived, strapping the 2 men into stretchers. One screamed when they touched his ribs. The other begged them not to move his arm. They were loaded into the ambulance, still crying. Hale turned back to me. We'll need statements, and we'll need to talk to Victoria Crane. I'll point you to her office. We drove down the ridge to the HOA building, a fancy glass box pretending it belonged in the countryside. Victoria was inside, barking orders on the phone, probably trying to spin what happened. She turned as Hale entered. What is the meaning of this? She snapped. Morales dropped the clipboard on her desk. She read it, color drained from her face. That's taken out of context. Lady, Hale said, there's no context where ordering force on a private citizen is legal. I didn't send them to hurt anyone. They impersonated officers, Morales cut in. They trespassed, they assaulted a homeowner, and you financed it. Her jaw trembled. This is outrageous. Hale stepped forward, cuffs in hand. Victoria Lorne Crane, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit assault, misuse of HOA funds, and ordering an illegal enforcement action. Her voice cracked. Wait, please. The cuffs clicked. She didn't say another word. By sunset, all charges were official. HOA cop number 1, shattered forearm, 2 broken ribs, severe bruising, hospitalized 5 days, sentenced to 4 years for felony trespass, assault, and impersonation. HOA cop number 2, 3 fractured ribs, dislocated shoulder, concussion, sentenced to 2 years plus $7,500 restitution. Victoria Crane, fined $18,000, sentenced to 8 years in state prison, banned from HOA leadership for life. That night, I sat on my porch again, the hills quiet, my land mine once more. And that's how 2 fake HOA cops and the president who sent them learned you don't start a fight on a ranch unless you want to leave crawling. The end.